So now talk to us about Alaine and the love space. I know that you're not currently married, and I know that you have a great deal of respect for your family values and for your own values. Is this something that you see in your future?
Marriage. Hey! Okay, so first of all, let me just start saying everything is possible. I'll just start there. I'll just start
Yeah.
from this premise. Everything is possible. And so therefore, as a grown woman who has had
Hmm.
relationships that have been long lasting, some of them and some that didn't work out, I love love.
Yes,
I
me
love
too.
being in love. Yes, it's the
Me too.
nicest feeling when
It
somebody
is.
respects you and honors you and cherishes you.
It is.
There's nothing that is more comforting and filling. And I look forward to my divine connection.
Can I have it all? Can I have success without the stress and toxic relationships? Here's your chance to get some insight, some advice, some real girl talk, and sometime real man talk on how to be the boss, whether it's boardroom, bedroom, or when you're trying to find the time to access your bliss. Let's do it. Hey there, Balanced Lady Bosses. This is Stacy, and welcome to an epically special episode of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. Today, I am joined by Alaine Lawton, who some of you may know as an amazing singer, right? I think some of us call her Alaine Singer. And she is going to be sharing with us just her journey through our three pillars of boardroom, bedroom, bliss. Alaine and I met a couple of years ago, actually, and it was literally like soul connection at first sight. And I'm so pleased that she's been able to join us on the show today and to share with us just some of the gems that she's learned on her path through becoming to this day, and also to share with us any tips or advice that she can provide from those wisdom gems that she's garnered on her journey. So, welcome, Alaine. Thank you for joining the Balanced Lady Boss Show.
Having me, Stacy. I appreciate you so much and the light that you bring to this world. The world is better because you're here, and it is an honor to be in your presence. Even though we're not together, we're together because we are one. So thank you so much
Yes.
for having me.
No, absolutely. Thanks for joining. So I'm going to start us off by pulling an intention card. So Epic Intention cards are actually the current sponsor for the show, which makes me very happy to share a card with you today. So I'm going to shuffle as we
Send
do,
some
and then
buzzy.
I'll pull a card. Oh, I love this one. So this card is I celebrate my body. And the affirmation says, I elevate my mind body focus and pay attention to my health so that I bring the best version of my physical being to my daily experience. I'm just going to let you sit with that.
That's my card, Stacy. That's
It's
my
my card too right now.
Oh my God, I feel to cry. That is my card. It is everything, and it's such a very purposeful thing to love yourself. You have to love yourself on purpose, and it has to be something that you do every single second of every solitary day because it's that important. The spiritual, the physical, the mental, the emotional is all tied up into one, and when your body feels good, everything flows from there, but it takes work. It takes work, but you are so worth it. You are so worth the best things, and we have to give them to ourselves. That's my card. That's our card, Stacy. Oh my goodness. The
I'm
universe
loving
is
it.
so intentional, and God is so intentional. It's just like,
No,
okay.
for sure. And we're going to definitely be getting more into this body celebration when we talk about bliss, because we're close in age. We're actually close in age. And so I know we probably share some similar experiences associated with
Hey,
that.
come on now. Get me to 100. That is my intention. Get into 100, girl.
All right. So The theme for our season 5 is actually reinvention. And one of the reasons why that's the theme is because as I was exiting, or really in the middle of 2023, I had another breast cancer scare. They found some lumps in my right breast, and it spawned a whole set of examinations and biopsies and all these different things. And I was in the midst of going through the process with the business of now being fully entrepreneurial and just getting things ramped up. How you do that ramp up? And it was a moment for me to pause and to listen to my body and to realize that I have to approach entrepreneurship differently. And so it set me on this mission of reinventing what entrepreneurship means and what a life of creation looks like for me without the stress and the burnout and the overwhelm, because it's just not a part, my body is not receiving that, right? And so I decided from that I was going to make this season dedicated to that concept of reinvention. And so when I read again just kind of the overview of your journey, it feels to me, Alaine, like you are constantly reinventing yourself. So please share with me and the community just your journey towards becoming a singer, towards becoming such a light in the space of entertainment, producing not just music that sounds beautiful, but when you watch your videos, it just seems so intentional in terms of the way that you create. I would love to hear of the process that you've gone through in your becoming so far.
Before I speak about me, I just want to just speak life and healing and wholeness over you.
Yes.
I just speak divine action in your life, and I know that because you are so deeply loved by the divine spirit that created you from the beginning, there is only healing, there is only restoration, there is only beginning again and again and again as you delve more deeply into the wisdom that is within you, and as it manifests as beautiful healing miraculous experiences. I know it is well with you, Stacey, and it will always be. So it is. So it is.
Absolutely. And I absolutely receive that. And every time, I mean, this is, when I say cancer scare, I'm grateful that I am well and that the cells and the lumps were not cancerous. And I receive all of what you said, because I think for many persons who go through critical illness, it's sometimes you think that it just ends when you're done. But, the truth is that your body is always talking to you. But yes, thank you so much, Alaine, for those really kind words. And thank you for sharing in the celebration of our card for today. So to get back to the question, we were really talking about just how you have managed to reinvent yourself through the course of your career. And I wanted to share with our community the journey that your career has taken and the different times that you reinvented yourself.
I started singing as a little girl. I grew up always performing. My mother is a singer. I mean, mommy is everything. My mother, oh my God, she's my heart. And she taught me to sing from as a little girl. She said when I was a baby, the only time I'd stop crying is when she would sing. And she always recalls that time. She says, Lenny, you were just crying and crying. And then I started to sing and you stopped. And then, and so she said, I stopped crying. So she thought I was asleep. So she stopped singing. And the moment she stopped singing, I started to cry. And she said, this has been just my life where I'm always singing, Stacey. I don't even realize it. Like I'm on the road and I'm singing at the people standing up beside me looking at me. And I'm like, oh, I don't mean to do it. It's just part of who I am. So yeah, singing has always been, music has always been a big part of my life. And went to school, got my degree, moved away, got a great job at JP Morgan Chase in New York. And was miserable because you can't do what you're not supposed to do and feel any type of bliss. And if you hear that barking, that is my dog, Achu, like a sneeze, Achu. And he is, I don't know what he's barking at because there's nothing to bark at, but perhaps he wants to do the podcast as well.
Yes.
But anyway. So I was very, very unhappy at the bank. I was doing very well because, we do well when we go places. We shine because that is what we're meant to do. But then there's a certain shine that comes with purpose that is incomparable. and so it's so important to follow your purpose, and following your purpose is not usually an easy thing. It comes with loads of no's and disappointments and questioning as to whether or not this is my purpose, because if it's something good, shouldn't it come easy? You know what I mean? Like, all right, they say, oh, it should be easy. I mean, that's the other pillar, right? So let's stay here with purpose now. I moved back to Jamaica and started pursuing my career. And this was after my singing career. And this was after working at the bank and getting promoted to the assistant vice president team. When I quit, it didn't make sense. And I was in my mid-20s, and, I was just set on a trajectory to be very well off and bored out of my life and unhappy. And that cannot work. So I just took a leap of faith and moved home to Jamaica. I gave my furniture to Goodwill. I sold my car, gave my furniture to Goodwill, and moved home to Jamaica. And nobody knew who I was. I mean, when I grew up in Jamaica, I was in concerts and I did commercials, but this was all when I was a little girl. So here I am now, this young lady, and I'm telling people that I sing, and they're like, are any of your songs on the radio? And I'm like, well, not exactly, but what would you just put it, listen to me sing. But I mean, while I was in New York, though, while I was working at JP Morgan, I was moonlighting at any studio that I could get into, working with different producers, learning how to write, seeing how the established writers wrote, and saying, okay, so this is what you do, this is what you do. But when I came home to Jamaica, of course, again, like I said, nobody knew who I was, but I was working on my craft even before I quit the job at the bank. And then I met Naseka, who are a brilliant production team. They're responsible for rhythms like anger management and responsible for the careers of many very popular artists. And I started working with them, and then met with Don Corleone and met with Arif Cooper and so many other people that gave me a chance to record. And then the songs just started picking up, and blessings. But it never came just so. It took time and it took sacrifice. And over my career, which is now has spanned 20 years, my God, I have had to reinvent myself as my life continues to expand and to grow. I grow and expand with it, and so do my musical creations. And I just give thanks for the ability to do what I really love. Do I want more? Yes. Do I have enough? Yes. And that's where I live. I live in that place where, yes, all I am is enough, and there is room for improvement. And that's how I feel about every aspect of my life.
Oh, that's so good. All I have is enough, and there is room for improvement. There is room for more. And it is because we live in such an abundant universe, and because the universe is a friendly place, that we have access to be above and beyond even what we can fathom and think in our own minds. So I so get being in that. That's a nice way to put it. That's where I reside, in that space. Because oftentimes I think, especially with the dawn of social media and seeing how there is so much muchiness, there is a lot of persons that seem to have a lot but may not really be experiencing their true purpose or experiencing joy, that deep sense of contentment. And so sometimes wanting more gets a bad rap. Right? But in the career space, I think as you're evolving and growing, as you say, you're always going to be seeking.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
That's excellent. Talk to me about moving into doing Digital Rising Star and just that experience, because that's really new. Like you look like you were having a ball, by the way.
I do. I have the best time on Digital Rising Stars. Ghost pimple full up my body every time, Stacey. And let me tell you why. Because I know what it feels like to be a dreamer. I know what it feels like to really want something. And then you see people who can help you and they are for you, which is why I'm always going to be cheering for the seekers of more. And that's why I'll always be like, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. Because there are people in my life who did that for me. And that's why I am where I am now. And I have to pay it forward because I'm eternally grateful to the people who are cheerleaders, to the people who are like, yes, I did it and you can do it too. So that show, that platform is so beautiful because you see these young and not so young, talented people who are striving for more. And sometimes it is hilarious because sometimes the more with them striving, I should not be singing, but we just thank God and know that they will find their way. But there are some very talented singers and players of instruments that do come and do get an opportunity to showcase what they have. And I am just overjoyed to be a part of their journey and to be part of that cheerleading team for them. I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, do you find yourself being taken back to when you were on your journey as you participate in theirs, like observing
Absolutely.
them? And are there
Absolutely.
any
Them
big
brave
lessons?
and
Them
me could
brave.
me couldn't sit the thing up in front and tree judge and I couldn't do it. I could not do I don't know. I especially Anthony Miller because Anthony is no easy person to deal with, you know. Anthony is a trip entirely. And so I rate them. And I'm just like, look at you, you're so brave, you know, and they have
Mhm.
very little experience. It's not like a lot of them don't have any training. They're just raw talent with a big dream, you know, and so
Mhm.
it is a big deal to be part of it. And yes, I do. In the striving, I identify with it. In their striving, in their dreams, in their hopes, even in their pitfalls. Sometimes they forget the lyrics. Sometimes they crack when they sing. I've been there, done that,
Mm.
still do it. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Because that's part of the journey and that's part of what really makes it good. I was speaking to somebody who is new in the industry and they were saying to me how, of course, the more they perform, the better it feels. They're like, but Alaine, I'm still nervous before I go on stage. And my thing is, I'm always nervous. You have to always have that excitement, and I don't call it nerves because nerves has a negative spin to it. So I said there's an
Mhm.
excitement there. There's a
Mhm.
butterflies in your stomach that tell you that you are doing exactly what you should be doing. Because if
Mhm.
anything feels mundane or just regular or just ho hum, that's not where we are supposed to reside. We are always supposed to be in a place of expansion and growth and pulling us to be more, because what that does by extension is it extends to the audience and they
Mhm.
feel it. And there's healing there, and there is love there, and there is joy there, and the
Mhm.
inspiration is there as well for them to seek for more as they see you seeking for more. So, yes, I do see
Mhm.
myself in their journey. I do.
No, that's really good. And I like that you talk about the feeling that you should get when you're really sitting in that space of purposefulness, right? And doing work that allows you to access that energy, I think is a gift.
Oh
And
my God.
many persons idealize entrepreneurship because they actually think that entrepreneurship equals that. But that's not the case because you can actually be in your corporate world and still access that
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
Talk to me about your time with Edge 105 because you're no longer doing that show, right?
No, I
High
knew what to
frequency.
say. Right, exactly. That was a big surprise for me. I got a call that said, you know, there's a new radio station that's gonna start and they're interested in giving you a show. And I said, me? What you say? Oh, okay. I was getting my hair done. I remember I was getting my hair done and I got the call from the headhunter and they were like, this is happening and are you interested? I was like, absolutely. That sounds fantastic. I've never been on radio. I've been on TV, but you know, it's a whole different place, completely different experience. And I was so nervous. And let me tell you what I did, Stacey. Before the interview, the first interview, because there were a couple, I went to my makeup artist and I got my face done to go on a radio interview, you know, girl. Yeah, come and said, well, even if them can't see me, I go feel pretty, so we must talk some nice things. You know what I mean, right? No clue what was I was just like, okay, this is what I'm used to, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get my face and my hair done and just work the rest out afterwards. And it was a good 3 year run, you know. The one of the most impactful things from that show to me was hearing, because I'm all about personal empowerment and lifting people up by reminding them who they are, because sometimes we forget, is
Yes.
when people would call me and they would quote me to me, like say to me, okay, Alaine, remember when you said I am enough? And I didn't necessarily know what that meant before, but now I know, and I behave differently because of that. You see, those things, that means everything to me. It was so much fun. I got to meet a lot of up and coming talent who, of course, I poured into and lifted up, because that is what I'm all about. And interacting with everyone at the radio station was a brilliant experience, and something that has really added development. Nothing is by mistake.
So we were talking about Edge FM, and now we're going to move into just discussing the transition from radio back to television. Was that a difficult transition to make? Did you have like this moment where you're like, you know what? My time here is to be served differently. I mean, 2022, I think a lot of people were going through that feeling of needing to transition, preparing almost for 2023. Did you have a set time where you felt that moment that it was time to transition to something new?
Well, I was doing radio, TV, and singing, as well as making my hosting appearances all at the same time,
Oh,
which, that's what they call multi-potentialites, right? So
yes, yes,
that's, I love that word. I know we are the same, we are
yes, we are the
multi-potentialites.
same.
Yes. So it's fun, to do all of the things. Which of them do I prefer? Music, no question.
Mm.
It's just what it is. And that's just because of, I guess it's just how I'm made up. But I give thanks that I can do all of them. And I just look forward to opportunities in the future to use my voice to uplift people and to let them know that it's all right to enjoy themselves and to live a life of gratitude and purpose. And all of what I do allows me to do that. And that's the biggest blessing.
Okay, so
Yeah, it was my time when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to stop this and do that. And
that's what I was wondering.
I love it all. It's so great. I'm ready for more.
So, what project would you say you're working on now? Because I have seen a couple video drops and I'm seeing photo shoots. So, I'm like, is there something happening that we should be preparing for?
Yes, well, I have a few singles that I'm going to be releasing and releasing the visuals for them too. Really excited about them. I love the work I'm doing now just because of where I am in my life. But I'm going to be working on my EP this year to come out at the end of the year, later on, maybe not at the end of the year, but later on in the year. But I'm in a very creative space now, in a place of receptivity. And because of that, I wake up and songs wake me up in the morning, which is the coolest thing. And I'm just looking forward to sharing them and to continue touring. I have several dates already confirmed all over the world, across the Caribbean as well as Europe. And I'm just looking forward to just living in a space of constant expansion. So yeah, more music to come.
Oh, that's wonderful. I wish I could just tag along with you as your assistant in some way, shape, or form. I
Yes,
know nothing about the touring world, but I would come with my mic and maybe just in the background just talk. I don't know. But
yes, sir. Lift them up. Keep your positive things and just make it just fill them soul, fertilize them soul.
don't.
I couldn't afford you though, but that's a
Well, there
whole.
is everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. No, I admire that. I actually do also have quite a bit of travel ahead for this year. And I think just generally after being locked down for a couple of years, I think most of the world is looking forward to being outside, to experiencing and exploring other places. So enjoy when all of that starts to unfold for you. I'm really excited and I'm happy that you're singing. You're back to being in that space of singing again, because I remember the conversation of, I can't wait to get back to singing. So it's nice to see it coming to life, actually happening on a day-to-day basis.
It's so important to speak the things that we want to see and nothing else. Because just as you said, you remember the conversation where I can't wait to get back to it. The conversation could have been, it will never happen again.
Yes.
Because I'm in this place now that is low and this is where I'll always be. No, we have to be very intentional about the words we speak, because there is power in them.
Oh,
There's
so
an
much.
atomic force that is behind every word that we speak. And as I was speaking, my dog started barking. So he's reminding me that every sound that we make has energy and impact. So don't talk foolishness out of your mouth. Speak the things that you want to see, and they will manifest. All of the good books talk about it. Whether you
Yes.
talk about the Bible, whether you're talking about the Bhagavad Gita, whatever
Yeah.
it is, what all wisdom leads and points to the power of our words. Yeah. We spoke it and it manifested. And so therefore I will keep on speaking the things I want to see. And sometimes when my mouth slips, I'll be like, oh no, that is not true. The truth is, and you cancel it out, because you have to be that intentional, because it is that crucial.
I actually love that you said that, because I was going to ask, what do you do when you are now present to saying something that is not your intention, especially
Yes.
being in such a space of consciousness and self-awareness? I know it happens to me a lot where I'm like, oh, and do you correct yourself? But you said it. You said it exactly like, oh, no, not true. The truth is,
The truth is, I am blessed and highly favored. The truth is, I am capable. The truth is, my mind is processing in the way that it was intended to process when the divine creator made me. The truth is, my body is an extension of God's body, and therefore there is perfection, and only perfection that lives within every cell of my body. The truth is, I am love, I am loved, and I will be loved. That's the truth. You know, and so
that's
it is.
so good. That's so good. Boy, I'm going to have to listen back to this episode just so I can get the covering.
So it is.
I receive it, all of it. Okay, so this is actually a really great segue into our bedroom space, because you brought up the word love. Yes. But we're going to start off with a little bit of fun, because when I was doing my research to prepare for the show, and I saw the video that you did with Dexter Daps.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me tell you, the first time I saw Mr. Daps was when I went.
Yes, that is his Christian.
Yeah, when I went to Reggae Sumfest last year. I mean, my honey boo had told me all about him. You know, he knows the songs and all the things. I'm probably a little bit less exposed to all the things that are happening in the dance hall space. But let me tell you something. When Mr. Daps come on the stage, you know, like first of all, it was early in the morning. You're talking like some 5, 6 o'clock, when people like, you know, having spent the night.
Yes.
Concert, right? All the ladies, all of a sudden, everybody look fresh.
Their minds, yes.
It's like somehow the hair doing the makeup put on, because Mr. Daps is now on the stage. So imagine my excitement now when I saw your video with him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if Alaine could let this man that is out there in this world just be like, no, you know, I think I'm going to just settle down and get real serious now, because he's the ultimate lover boy.
But not my lover boy. Dexter Dexter is somebody that I have known for many years. He worked with Daseka as well. I mentioned them earlier in the interview. They discovered him, and I remember when David from Daseka called me, he's like, oh my God, we have this artist. He's so talented. We're going to work with him. And then I saw as he just continued to rise.
Oh my gosh, skyrocket.
You know, who he is now, exactly.
Yeah.
And we recorded a few songs together. And yes, and then he heard my song, which is Sita, which I recorded as a single. He heard the song and he said, he called me one morning and he's like, Alaine, oh my God, I heard the song. I love it. I think that it should be a duet. So I said to him, I said, all right, so here what now? You sing a lot of songs that I cannot sing, because like how me and my parents, them is friend. I would need to, clean it up. So he goes, no. I'm going to sing it exactly like you sang it, but you know, we just sing it interchangeably. And I said, really? Okay. And then he went into the studio and recorded it. And when I heard it, I said, me did want to mash up the phone. When we hear it, I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And you know, we shot the video, and of course, then comes people saying, okay, Alaine and Dexter there, and no, we are not together. That's the bridging. But he just released his album, Trilogy. Everybody go support him, go stream it. I'm all about working with people who I have just the deepest respect for. And I just a brilliant artist, period.
Absolutely. And I actually think that the way the song was done is exemplary of his brilliance, because he didn't need to bring all the
Anything.
extra into this, and it preserved, yeah, all the extra. It preserved what I would say is just the brand that you have created. It's just one that is just love and beauty and impact. It just felt like you were being pulled into this love, this pure love experience, is how I would describe it. Yeah, so definitely congrats on that. And congrats, Dex, on your new album. And I wish you lots of luck with it. So, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now talk to us about Alaine and the love space. I know that you're not currently married, and I know that you have a great deal of respect for your family values and for your own values. Is this something that you see in your future?
Marriage. Hey! Okay, so first of all, let me just start saying everything is possible. I'll just start there. I'll just start from this premise. Everything is possible. And so therefore, as a grown woman who has had relationships that have been long lasting, some of them and some that didn't work out, I love love.
Yes,
I
me
love
too.
being in love. Yes, it's the
Me
nicest
too.
feeling when
It
somebody
is.
respects you and honors you and cherishes you.
It is.
There's nothing that is more comforting and filling. And I look forward to my divine connection. My parents have been married for 49 years.
Wow.
And yeah. And I see that, and it's by no means perfect. Sometimes them can't stand one another, but they always love one another.
Yeah.
And that is what I seek. And I know that God would not put that intention in me or that desire in me if there was not already a provision for it. So I wait with expectancy for all that the divine has for me. But right now I am single and hopeful. And it's very interesting how the conversations go with single girls, because there are a lot of us. And I think that what has been very healing for me is recognizing the part that I have played in the pain that I have felt over the years.
Okay.
I just sit with expectancy for what God has planned for me. I know it is beautiful because God is beautiful. And in the meantime, I'm working on myself and loving myself and loving the people that are in my life, my dear friends and my family, and the people that I have impacted with my music. Like, it's just love. And I know the more I give, the more I'll receive. So I'm in an expectant place. But single life lonely sometimes, oh God, it don't nice. Sometimes you want your smarty. But
Yes.
one thing that I have learned as well is to be happy for other people. So I remember before, and it's a place that I've gotten to know, but before, me couldn't look for a happy couple because it just used to make me feel sad. I'd be like, oh my God, so what is wrong with me? Like, me know say me nice, me know say I have so much that to bring to the table. And like, what is it? What? And it's like, there was just a very strong telling from God one day when he said, well, so because I'm showing you all of these things, I am preparing you for what I have for you. But you have to sit in a place of receptivity and happiness, because whatever it is that you give out, you're going to get more of that.
Yeah.
So if you give, why not me? Then why not me is always going to keep coming to me.
Yeah.
So then I changed the way I saw things, and perspective is everything. So I'd look at people and see them happy, and I go, oh my God, that is so wonderful. I am so glad for them, because they must have been in a place where I am now, where I said, oh, I want somebody. And then somebody showed up.
Yes.
So therefore, what it is telling me is that my somebody is going to show up, and I will have no other reality, because that is what it is. I was in the hairdresser the other day, Stacey, and this lady was there, and somebody was asking me the same thing, because everywhere I go, people say, you're married, you have smutty, and my thing was just like, yeah, I trust that the right person will come. And this lady sat there and she said, yeah, enough woman I trust say the right person, but appear and robber and criminal out there. I said, wow. I said, first of all, I do not receive that. Let me trust the lady. No. And then I said, no, that is not true. I said, there are great people there, and I will be expecting the great one and not the thief or the robber or the criminal. Because where is your mind?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? but it is really all about how you see it.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's how I choose to
No,
see it.
I agree with you 100%. I remember when I was coming out of my divorce, it took
Mm.
me a while to move from the place of resentment and men are dogs and all the different things into a place of expectancy, as you say, and possibility. And I actually had to get a coach to help me with navigate specifically for that because
Yes.
I was buying the books, I was doing all of the different prayer chant, meditate, everything. I was just like in my mind and I think in my heart so ready to be with a person. And I think it's because I had actually been yearning for that from before the end of the marriage itself, right? You
Because,
go through a process of
yeah,
separation
yeah,
and then and so I was really looking forward to being in space because you're right, single for me was very lonely, especially having been married,
yeah,
right?
yes,
And so
yes,
being in that space was very uncomfortable. And at the same time, it served me in my becoming because I had to prepare myself for whoever it was I was
that was
welcoming into my life. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So your smutty, as you say, is going to be all the way turned up because there is so much there is so much light emanating from you that you will only attract at that level or higher. So,
So it is.
yeah, the love
It's
thing I got turn up.
so, sister, I
Oh,
received that. I
yeah,
received
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. All right. I wanted to talk just a bit about your parents because every time I actually sit down and have a conversation with you, your mom or your parents, something comes up.
Yeah.
What is that relationship like to have such a close connection with your parents?
It is wonderful. It is
Mm.
always knowing that somebody is going to be on your side. The two of them. Now, they are two completely opposite individuals. My mother
Really?
is fire. My mother is fire. My father is water. But of
Ah,
course, you know that but them do, but that it more is not like that. It water out mommy fire. So I don't know how it works, but somehow they're just powerful on their own. And when it comes to me, it refills me. Their love and their understanding and their support is second to none. I talk to my parents about sex and everything.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
everything, right?
yeah.
And it's so important to have that, and I don't take it for granted because what I have realized, and you see, growing up, I thought this is how everybody was. I thought everybody got along with their mother. I thought everybody got along with their father. Of course, the older I got in high school, then you hear about absentee fathers. And I said, my God, I cannot imagine my life without my father. Being there, always present, always a word of advice and wisdom. Mommy just being there as just, I'm here for you. What I call her Mama Lion, right? She's and then some. Always look at me. She said, Lord, I'm not short skirt. Lord, when we did in our days, my skirt would. I said, Mommy, no, it's just not my style, okay? Yeah, it's that kind of vibes. We are a trinity. I am an only child, and we are very
Mm,
close. And my life is to make sure that they are all right. And
mm.
I'm so blessed and grateful that I am able to give them whatever it is they want. So I will
Yes.
continue to do that, and they're healthy, they're well, and we're a good team. And I love to see them. When on their anniversary, I took them to the North Coast, and we're just celebrating their 49 years of love, and they're just there dancing and kissing and being in love. And I'm just like, all right, so like how me at this age now, me could have married to 49. I said, all right, we go to 40 and just call it judge.
I'm not going to go for the same numerical mile marker, but definitely the energy and the vibe and, that is absolutely beautiful. And I love that you are able to hone in on that you have that as an example because many of us, myself included, did not necessarily have it that way. I grew up primarily with my grandparents. My dad was in the States and I grew up in the family home with my mom and her siblings and my grandparents. And I did have quite an ideal or maybe an idealistic sense of husband and wife free based on my grandparents. But there were many things that I think I wanted more of. All of that short skirt and the hug up and the kiss up and like those bits. I think I exemplify that a lot now for
with
my
your
children. And I'm definitely the one that believes in having these very authentic, open conversations with your kids, because otherwise they're going to be out there on TikTok school
learning from people
learning
that
all the things.
learning from lunatics or people who think they know and have no idea, but they're speaking as if they are authorities and they're not. That's why it's so important. And for my friends' children and for kids that I know, it's always very important to remind them, speak to me, share with
Yes.
me, talk
Yeah.
about it, because we can be the safe places for the future,
Mm-hmm.
because there are so many voices that are
Yes.
speaking all kinds of foolishness, as well as there is wisdom there. But it's nice when we can be a guidepost for them to say, okay,
Yes.
this is it,
Help
you know.
them with the discernment. It's very different
There-
from when we were growing up. We just didn't
Oh
have,
God.
I mean, no internet, no social media. Like you
And
didn't
it was
have that influence.
wonderful. It
It
was
was
so
so
good.
good. It
You
was
call
so
somebody
good.
from the house and them not
Yeah.
there, you just wait till them reach home. It's just what it was, like,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, we definitely have the best of both worlds, having experienced that and then being in this modern age now. But yeah, we have to be there for the next generation. And they are a light too, and they have a lot to offer.
Absolutely. Now, with all of this work that you do, even though it's passion filled work, purpose filled work, you are spending a lot of time in a lot of different mediums. Where does Alaine find time for herself?
Ooh, every morning. So my
Mm.
morning routine is very, very important to me. And it starts from 5 a.m. And it's all about meditation, chanting, worship, exercise, yoga every morning. It
Mm.
matters to me. It is a grounding place for me. It is non-negotiable. I will not schedule anything in those times. And it has been just a big blessing for me. And yeah, and every time, like even this morning while I was doing some yoga moves and whatever asanas, and a thought just came to my mind, and it was handle with care. And then I burst out crying. And I thought, wow, okay, so what is this touching now? Where am I now? What am I
Mhm.
having to deal with? And I went deeper in thought, and I thought, okay, so have I been handling myself with care?
Mm.
Have I chosen relationships that have honored my preciousness, my
Mhm.
pricelessness?
Mm.
And I started to go over some of my relationships, and I go, okay, yeah, no, not there. But
Mhm.
then when I did, do right, I cheered for myself, because
Yeah.
that's what the thing is, also to recognize, okay, sometimes we slip and we fall, but still in some of the mistakes we make or some of the pain that we feel, there is good and there is right action. And so the message is never to be too hard on yourself, but to
Yes.
step back and to look over it, like just have a bird's eye view of it and say, okay, this is where I messed up, this is where I didn't. But in the future, I will handle with care myself first and then everyone else by extension, because
Mhm.
each one of us is an iceberg. Like we're all, there's so much more beneath the surface than there
Yes.
is above. And when we operate from that premise, from that place,
Mm.
we give ourselves so much grace as well as others. And so you're not judgmental, because that judgmental something there,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is tricky. And if I look back and look at all the times that I didn't want people to judge me, I'm going to extend that to everyone else as we
Yeah.
all get to where we are going. And yeah, my morning routine matters.
Yeah. No, I have become not just a believer, but an ambassador for morning routines.
Yes.
We go through this reset every night or whenever it is that we sleep. I think there's a
Yeah.
natural order to this earth and to our beingness, right? There's a natural order to it. And it allows us to not just rest and reset, but also go through healing. And there is
Oh,
always something that happens in your day that you need to heal from overnight.
oh my
And when
God.
we allow ourselves to come out of that healing and then almost break the fast of sleep, we now need to set ourselves up with intention for the day ahead. It's not just a continuation, you're just running. And I remember living my life for so many years, running
Like,
into the next day, running into the next day, and not recognizing how much I needed to honor the healing of the night, how much I needed to honor my soul and setting up my mind for what I wanted to create for my day.
So
And
good.
the more I lean into that, it's the
Oh,
more I feel called towards my purpose.
yes.
It's like it is supporting me in finding my true self.
Yes, absolutely. And you're
And
so worth it. You're so
yes,
worth
we are so worth it.
it.
Thank
And
you. Thank you for
you're
that.
welcome.
Okay. Now that I understand your bliss space, we had one thing that I actually said that I was going to circle back on before my final question, and it was about the card. I
Mm,
celebrate my body. And I have been going through this body change experience in my 40s because of perimenopause.
yeah.
And I have been asking women who are also in their 40s just how they are navigating it. Are they having any experiences of their own? I've had friends that have like women that are much older that are like, I never had any menopause or anything. My period just stopped and it was good to go. There was no kind of, yeah, nothing in between. Whereas
Mhm.
for me, it's been a lot more of the mind stuff, like a lot of fogginess. I think I have had a hot flash encounter. I'm not too sure because it
Mhm.
just feels unusual. It's not something that just feels like external heat. And then we're
Right.
seeing all of these conversations online
About it, yes.
about it. So now you start to check yourself and wonder, wait,
And if that is
maybe
it.
I was thinking that this was just something strange, but it's actually connected to that. How are you taking care of your body? You mentioned yoga, you mentioned exercise. How are you taking care of your body during this time of your life?
So I'm 45 years old. I turned 45 September the 21st, and
Ah,
this year I will be 46. And whenever I tell anybody that, they're like, "Really?" I'm like,
yeah,
"Yes." I was
hard to
in, I was
believe.
in line the other day at Fontana, and people talk to me all the time. And this young lady was in front of me, and she turned around and she's like, "Hi, I am," and she started talking to me, and we're just talking, and I was just there encouraging her because she was telling me about her life journey. And I said, she's like, "I'm 24, and da 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 da," and then so I was like, "I'm
Mm.
45, So she goes, "What?" And it's that she looked at me like, "You're basically dead, and there's nothing that we have in common. How can you possibly be that old?" And I remember when I was in my 20s, and you
Mhm.
find somebody you meet somebody who is 40, you say, "Well, them old,
Yes,
like, I hear people, my parents used to say, "We've been friends for 20 years, we've been friends for 30 years." And I used to think I used to say, "How is
that
that?"
long.
Like,
Yeah.
it's longer than how old I am. But here we are. Here we are. Thank you, God, that we've made it here. And the reality of bending down and hearing your knees go has arrived, right? So there's that. There's this Jamaican saying, and it goes like, the baby hug as the mother hug. "Mommy, how your mouth so long?" Right? And the mother hug says, "Me pick me, you grow, you will see." And here we are, we've grown, we know what it
Yes.
is now.
Yes.
And so I am plant-based. I
Okay.
cook all of my food. Well, the majority of my food. If I'm on the road, I'll find something. But it's very important to me to be very intentional about what I put into my body temple. And so I have found that before I was plant-based, I used to have the fogginess, the brain
Oh,
fog. Why is it
yes.
so hard to remember things again? Because I've
Yes.
always been really quick. And then I said, what is it? Where am I going again?"
Yes.
That whole
Yes.
thing, walking into a room and not knowing. I said, "What am I doing? Oh,
What
I
am
need
I
to
coming here for?
come here for." But so for me, what I eat is really important. And I find that the more I charge my body with beautiful foods and beans and vegetables and fruits and water and coconut water, and I take supplements as well. I'm all about spirulina and all of these things and Irish moss and these things.
Yes.
I'm in the kitchen doing all of that. And I find that that has been a very big blessing to me. So I don't feel any of the things like, I hear people talk about migraines and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've not had
Mm-hmm.
those experiences. And I really do believe it is because of how
The
intentional I am.
food.
I don't drink either. It's
Mm.
very So I'm very intentional about honoring my body temple. And the reason I don't drink is not because I think alcohol is the devil. I just don't like how my body feels when I
Afterwards.
exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing with chicken. I don't think chicken is bad for you. I don't think beef is bad for you. I don't think pork is bad for you. I don't think anything is. I think you should know what it is that makes you feel good and do
Right.
that. And so when I eat those things, my body feels heavy. I don't feel well. Talking about being regular and all of that, those things matter to me, Stacey.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
do the things that ensure my regularity because that gotta go. And I do the things that make me feel good. And so I've been very blessed. And am I looking forward to the change of life? I don't know if I'm looking forward. Well, no, I am. I give thanks that that's where I will be eventually. But for now, I feel the same. I feel the same. And I
Okay.
just,
Well, that's great.
like,
Congratulations. I'm very happy for you. I'm just,
my girl.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm very happy for you. Report back. Report back.
We talk next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Report back. I actually was able to, for the first time a couple of nights ago, my partner and I went to dinner with another couple friend. And we were having this whole discussion just about body changes and all of that. And I articulated that I am grieving my youth. I recognize that that's what's happening. Not that I'm not grateful and joyful and content, because I mean, look at us. We don't look like 40 nothings. Like, I mean, hello, this is 40, right?
Has
We
been
look
good
good.
for us. We are loved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but what I think has been happening to me is seeing my children grow up. I mean, my son is about to graduate university. One of my daughters is about to go off to university, and the other one is entering 11th grade come
My
August. So when I'm seeing them do this grow up thing, I'm trying to understand. Like,
God
I'm
is
still feeling like
young,
myself.
yes,
Yeah.
still
Like,
have
I'm not. So I had to look up the stages of grief and try to identify where I am in that process. And it's actually helped me to face, I think, what's happening in my mind as it relates to my external body. Because my
yeah.
being on the inside is still quite vibrant and fun and looking forward to decades
It's
to come, right? Exactly. So, yeah, next year we'll talk again, I will see.
it will be the same. I'm just declaring it just because the
Declare
word.
it. Declare it. Indeed. Indeed. I will jump along with you for
That
sure.
girl, all right. Mhm.
So, last question on the show is always asking for a gem. If there is an anecdote, a scripture, a quote, a song, anything that you use when you are having those valley moments, or when you are at maybe your highest energetic level and you want to lift somebody else up, is there something, that one thing that you would share with our community?
I think it is on a case by case basis, of course. So when I am around others and I feel like they need to be reminded of who they are, I will just remind them of their intrinsic divinity. We are all so loved. And I think if you come from the place of accepting the fact that you're loved, even in the face of trials and even in the face of failure and even in the face of heartbreak, which it can be the most difficult to accept that you're loved when you are experiencing heartbreak. But there is a supreme being that cares so much for you and is all about you and is in you and works through you and works through the people in your life that are blessings to remind you that you matter, that you are loved, and that it will be okay. And
Yes.
the thing about this is we tend to get short-sighted, especially when things are going wrong. So we hone in on this is wrong now, and then it's easy to extend it to a generalization and say, so therefore everything is wrong and it will always be wrong. That's not true. And it's so important to call a lie, especially when we say it to ourselves. Because what that does is it keeps us imprisoned in a place where we don't belong. We are light, we are love, we are expansion, we are growth, we are hope, we are faith. But that doesn't mean that hardships, that doesn't mean that doubt, that doesn't mean that limiting thoughts won't come our way. But we are stronger than our faults. We are wiser than our mistakes. And there is more for us. But we have to decide for the more and push through the mire that will undoubtedly meet us in life. But we were made to overcome. And we will if we say so. So say so and move, because there is more waiting for you, and it is beautiful and it is unstoppable, and you deserve it.
Mhm. Oh, wow. That's so good. That's like the whole interview right there. Just in life. We are made for the more.
Yes, yes, yes.
So good.
So it is.
And so it is. Selah.
It is. Hey,
Wow, Alaine, boy, let me tell you, man, this was really right on time. This was really right on time. You're such a beautiful soul. Like,
how are
yeah,
you, sis?
man. Like, I was really looking forward to talking with you because you just emanate this light energy that I feel so blessed to be a part of.
Thank
And
you.
I just want you to know that you deserve every good thing. Every good thing, you deserve it.
See that. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Thank you for joining our show and for being a part of this exciting adventure of what is usually a very simple interview for us.
Not this time, but not today. Not today.
Awesome sauce. Thank you, Balanced Lady Bosses. This has been a wonderful conversation. Did you want to add something?
Oh no, Sam, we still made it. And
Oh,
that's what this is all about. That
yes.
will be unpredictable slips and turns and detours
Yes.
and bumps and
Yes.
mistakes and getting back up again. And oh my gosh, is it going to work out? Yes, it does. Period.
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 All right. Awesome. Thanks for joining, ladies. See you soon on another epic of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. Thank you so much for joining us for another epic of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. It really means a lot to know that you have chosen to join our community and to listen in to all the insights and gems that are dropped by my guests, or if it's just me on our episodes. And of course, to show our appreciation, we want to make sure that we're providing you with value added resources. And you can check those out on our landing page, balancedladyboss.com. Now, for those of you who want to make sure that you are staying up to date with all the latest, you want to hit that subscribe button. And there's more. You want to check out our YouTube page. Just look for Stacey Hines on YouTube, and you'll be able to see the videos of the Balanced Lady Boss Show epics. That's right. All our guests, well, most of them, have chosen to allow us to video record these epics. So you can check those out on our YouTube page, along with other useful insights about living an intentionally balanced life. Stay tuned, guys. There's more goodness to come from the Balanced Lady Boss Show. Take care.